that have transpired. That the Kingdom of Light, Vrodic, might be planning something. That they have had scouts sighted in one of the other kingdoms, the Bloodscorned kingdoms, by their gates. Jack had also had a run-in. I said that like Matthew Berry. Run-in with assassins from the City of Light, which he thwarted very easily, or easily enough. But Elias still stands up, slams his hands on the table, and goes, "Hey, who must I disembowel?" Jack calms him down, and as they talk further, Jack asks for his help. Elias, though, reminds Jack that he doesn't really mess with the council, that they don't really get along, so he keeps to himself. Jack accepts this slightly. He's not really happy about it. But as they're talking, he starts to see that his human companion, Verona, is starting to nod off and fall asleep. As this is going on, though, Elias is tempting Vadrin, who's never drank from a fresh body before, fresh mortality, has never tasted it. He's tempting him with one of his donors, Sophia. Jack finds issue with this. It is not about it, because they have figured out how to live without having to take from donors in that way. He has his own reasons for not being about it. But they come up with a fun little trade. Elias can give to Vadrin an evening of wild frenzy, a partaking and drowning in the fresh flavors, while Jack goes off and steals some time with Verona and a better room for the evening. The night goes on. Wild revelry. Wild passion. The definition of what it means to be a vampire. And that's where we are. Those rooms are not soundproof. Absolutely not. And that's the way they like it. So, shall we commence, my degenerates? Shall we, my draconians? Are we ready to embark? My hair keeps tickling my nose. Get out of here. Oh my gosh. Chapter 24. A desperate plea. The decrepit dawn rises over the horizon of murk and mire, a heavy fog rolling down the steep mountains as it engulfs the vast kingdom of the Nightwalkers. The curtain of night lifts, and with it, a dull gray light pours through the long Gothic windows of the keep. Inside, the bodies of the former night's revelers begin to stir, along with their newly christened guest. Vadrin shifts on the cold stone floor, wrapped in furs. His crimson eyes scan the room, fear creeping across his features as he notices the bodies marked with his bites. But just as hope dwindles, those bodies stir, arms stretching as they welcome the morning with yawns. Vadrin exhales, relieved, and lets his head fall back against the floor, seeking another moment of rest among the slumbering guests. Elsewhere, the dawn's deathly chill sweeps over a fur-laden bed, where a muscular torso sprawls across the sheets. Jack's thick arms are wrapped behind his head, a mass of black curls resting atop his bare chest. Beneath him, a girl with short raven black hair nestles against his chest, can't say that, pressed firmly against his. Her breathing is soft and steady, her heartbeat slow, a stark contrast to the feverish passion of the night before. Time wheels on, and the residents of undeath and unnatural life slowly rise, the toll of the previous night's celebration evident in their movements. But there is one who wastes no time. Jack Townsend, his mind heavy with concern, exits his guest chambers, adjusting the bat-faced belt around his waist as he prepares for a meeting with his old friend. Sure enough, down the stone hall trots Elias, his mane flowing as he approaches, still stained with dried blood from the night's festivities. "Well then," Elias chuckles, the wicked smile never leaving his lips. "You're up early." The Nightwalker King closes the distance, his long navy coat left behind, resting against his cold throne. He wraps his arms around Jack in a tight embrace. "I hope you found rest," he teases, leaning back to meet Jack's gaze. "If that woman allowed you any." Elias waggles his bushy brows and slaps Jack's shoulder before turning to leave. Before he can, Jack's voice cuts through the air, cold and commanding. "Brother, as much as I've enjoyed the visit, we have to go." Elias pauses, his nose twitching as the words sink in. He stops in his tracks, brow furrowing as he seems to weigh something in his mind. With a dramatic flourish, he spins on his heel, teal eyes gleaming. "You'll have my wargs, as promised," he says, raising a long talon. "However..." "Elias!" Jack growls, folding his arms over his broad chest, his rippling muscles tensing. "Listen." Elias's tone shifts, his demeanor serious as he closes the distance yet again, his face mere inches from Jack's. "You may have the wargs, but consider leaving the boy here. He needs proper instruction." Jack's face falls, disbelief tightening his features. "Seriously? Conditions?" He leans forward, his own claw resting on Elias's shoulder. "I know you mean well, but this is serious." Elias snaps, his frustration boiling over. "As is this, Jack." He waves a flippant arm toward the throne room, littered with the bodies of sleeping humans, wolves, and vampires alike. "You should have seen him last night. He was gorging himself until his belly was protruding." Jack's eyes narrow as a realization sets in. This wasn't just about giving him a fun night, was it? You were testing him. Testing my progeny. The Wolven King snarls. "Jack, you made another of us. That comes with responsibility. He needs to learn control over himself and his hunger, or he'll be lost to the monster within." Elias' voice softens with genuine concern. "Brother, I'm speaking of teachings neither of us were given. The boy needs care, not to be thrown into an elder's war." With a frustrated shake of his head, Jack bounds back toward the guest room, his face twisted with anger. Behind him, Elias shouts, "Brother, I speak of what's best for him. He needs guidance, not battle." Jack's hand hovers over the stone doorway, his rage simmering beneath the surface. He shakes his head, refusing to turn around. "No," he growls, glancing over his shoulder at Elias. "This isn't about Vadran's teachings. It's about your bias towards Davadros, the Renaissance Wells, and the Council." "Jack, the Council is corrupt!" Elias shouts, his face clouded with despair. "Evil even, brother!" He exhales sharply, steadying himself. "David, too, in ways. The Crimson King turns, pain etched across his features as he stares at his longtime friend. David is not evil. He is a good man. He raises a clenched talon, passion shaking his voice. And what of his people? The blood-scorned, there are children there, he says, eyes locking onto Elias's blue gaze. Innocence. Elias softens, his anger faltering. Then go. Do what you must. I'll be there if you need me. But, as for Vadran... His tone shifts, the bearded king's expression drooping with concern. Jack, I could smell it on him. He's fresher than the soil on a widow's grave. He's young, so young. And something like this can change him. Leave him here. Let me train him. Click. Both elder vampires turn as the door behind them softly closes. Vadran, his face solemn and his hair a mess of knots from the previous night's festivities, stands at the entrance. His crimson eyes meet theirs, unreadable before he speaks, his voice low. Elias, I know you're trying to protect me, but I make my own decisions. I choose to finish the mission, wherever it leads. Elias nods slowly, his cold, alchemically charged eyes flicking back to Jack. Lad, are you sure? Bonsoir. His voice drops. It's Zinfale, the Goblin Kingdom, the City of Nightmares, the City of Unnamed Things. And within it, two of the scariest vampires you'll ever meet. Not to mention the Goblin King and his sister, the Hexcaster. He exhales heavily, his brow furrowing. And after that, a possible war. Vadran pales at the thought of new threats and horrific encounters. The memory of his battle with Bethel Dartlet still haunts him, a phantom pain throbbing where he'd been stabbed. But as his mind spins between duty and fear, a face rises in his thoughts. Her face. Rosy cheeks, smiling eyes of ocean blue, a small nose dusted with flour. His words spill out before he can stop them. If there are horrors ahead, I'd rather face them with my family than hide away. His jaw tightens, and maybe you should think about that too. Elias's face sours for a fleeting moment, but he exhales sharply through his nose. No one's hiding. Believe me. If war comes, I'll be right beside you. He says, locking eyes with Jack as tension hangs between them. Hello, Jennifer. I just wanted you to go into this with longer fangs. Vadran manages a small smile. I won't be using my fangs, he says, gesturing with his head toward the massive sword slung across his back. Elias's expression puckers mischievously. Ah, yes. That is a rather large sword. Are you sure you aren't compensating for something? He cackles, breaking the tension in the air. Jack's lips twitch, unable to stop himself. His six fangs flash as a rumbling laugh breaks free from his chest, his body shaking as his deep baritone fills the space. Vadran, rolling his eyes, groans. Ha! 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 He mutters, his crimson gaze rolling toward the ceiling. You two have the maturity of toddlers. Not even full ones. Half. Oh, you're one to talk. A slender female voice breaks in, cutting through the laughter. Verona steps through the door, once again dressed in her combat attire. How was your bender last night? Vadron's face flushes red, his body stiffening as he stands awkwardly. Elias lets out another guffaw, jabbing a finger at the young prince. Ha! With their parting words shared and a few moments of levity between them, the four of them weave through the foreboding castle, stepping into the morning's cool air. The Dark Kingdom stirs with life as its residents, both undead and unnatural, rise to their daily routines. Lumbering beastmen in woven forms trade shifts at the old castle gate, their fur matted from a night of wild fun. The city's scent is potent, like fresh rain on soaked soil, mountain air heavy with the musk of fur and smoke from the forge. As they leave the gates and descend the mountain path, they come upon a den carved into the mountain's side. From within, the snarls and tearing sounds of massive wolves emanate as the beasts rip into their kill. The carcass, shredded beyond recognition, glistens in the dim light as strips of meat are pulled from the bones, near black blood covering their muzzles. Elias whistles, his arms outstretched. The massive wolves turn from their feast, barreling toward the king. Vadron clenches his teeth, trusting that the beasts won't tear Elias apart. The furry creatures crash into their master, nearly knocking him over as he laughs, his claws digging into tufts of gray and white fur. His features stretch into a jagged smile as the joy of their reunion fills the air. There we are, my darlings. Settle down, he calls, hugging the wolves without fear. Elias's eyes soften as he looks at the three companions standing before him, his moment of joy flickering with concern. Mind yourselves out there. Zinfale is nasty. Jack treads across the stone floor, his cuffed boots kicking up dust in the cavernous hall. Thank you, my friend, he whispers, brows furrowed as the weight of leaving tugs at his gut. We'll keep each other safe, and I'll keep in mind what you said. Elias nods, stepping forward to rest a hand on Jack's shoulder. I may not agree with the Council's choices or their arrogant bullshit, but I will always come to your aid. We're bonded, brothers in battle and blood, outworlders. Verona huffs. You too? Just fuck already. I'm tired of pretending this is a platonic friendship. Both Jack and Elias turn to her, almost in unison. Who said it was platonic? The sorceress rolls her eyes. Are we leaving? We have something. Are we leaving? We have somewhere horrible to be. Let me do that again. The sorceress rolls her eyes. Are we leaving? We have somewhere horrible to be. She grips the leather saddle of one of the massive wargs, hoisting herself up with surprising strength. Jack moves quickly, his cold hand helping her up with ease. As Vadron approaches his own mount, Elias steps in front of him. Vadron! It was a pleasure. Elias pulls the young prince into a hearty embrace, slapping his back with rough palms. Before pulling away, he whispers hoarsely. Mind yourself. The Council will find a way to sink their claws into you, just as Davadros has done to Jack. He draws back with a broad grin. Careful on your journeys. It was truly a wild time. With their farewells given and the gift of saddled wargs, the trio departs from the lands of the Nightwalkers. Castle Corvin looms behind them, framed by the skeletal fingers of dead trees and tangled foliage. The group bounds across the land, the massive wolves beneath them tearing through dirt and grass, their glowing feral eyes reflecting their master's essence. They move like bullets, tearing up clumps of earth with each heavy paw. Hello, hello, hello. Their journey is long and arduous, spanning day into night and back again. They take brief moments to rest, hiding from the road under the cover of darkness. Days blur into one another, the moon only glimpsed for moments between a canopy of eternal overcast. Sleep is elusive, distant. A fear lingers beneath their false bravado. Of the three, only Vadran's face betrays his emotions, his unease growing as they approach their destination. Along the way, they encounter vile creatures, fangs bared and blades drawn. But the trio, alongside their ferocious mounts, quickly dispatches them, ripping their enemies apart before continuing their relentless pace. In the distance, it looms. The sky shifts from a dismal gray to a daring orange, the glow of an ever-burning flame lighting up the horizon. Plumes of smoke twist into the air, adding to the murky skyline. Their warriors stomp awkwardly as the soft grass gives way to jagged stone, the ground becoming black rock and cracked mud. I have audiobooks, so go check those out. As they crest a hill, the expanse reveals itself. Music change. Hold on. What do I want? Ooh, I dig this. The wargs stomp awkwardly as the soft grass gives way to jagged stone, the ground becoming black rock and cracked mud.